Hello guys, Damien Jones here again for you today, and today I thought I would share with you a rather nice addition to my Parnis watch collection. This is the Parnis 200 meter water resistance diver watch, which is their first watch to be produced which actually isn't a homage watch to any other kind. What we'll do is we'll take a look online what it says about this watch, and then I will go over with you my personal opinion of this watch, because although it's a great watch, I have had a few, shall we say, after sales issues with the quality, and I have to say, I have to be honest, I have to tell the truth. You know, if there have been issues with something, I will give my honest appraisal of the product. Now, as I say, don't get me wrong, this is an excellent watch, but well, I will tell you what I had to do, and let you come to your own conclusion on what you think of the watch itself. Anywho, let's have a look online. Okay, here we are on eBay, and this will give you some rather nice, that's if I don't get the glare of my camera light all over it. This is it, basically. This is the some photographs of it, and it is the Parnis 43mm ceramic bezel 200 meter sapphire glass Myota automatic men's watch, and here it's for sale for £105. I paid £89 for mine, and I'll show you that there are a few differences between this pictured one and mine, although mine did come on this bracelet. I had problems with it and actually broke it, and that's why my Parnis diver looks a little different to the one advertised. Okay, so these are the photographs of it. It basically had this rather lovely solid stainless steel bracelet with also solid curved ends, which were of particularly high quality. It was partially polished on the center links, and the outer links were brushed. That's just some more pictures. And it also had a rather nice deployment clasp, which was signed by Parnis and was of excellent quality, but as you can see, I have this other kind. Now, the strap, the bracelet that mine's on is solid, and it did come from Parnis as a replacement for the one I broke. However, it did cost me £22 for the privilege. So let's have a little read what it says about the product. Some more of Parnis' excellent watches. Okay, the movement is the 21 jewel Myota, which is the model number 8215, which is automatic and self-winding. The dial is black wave dial with orange hands, and marks, luminous hands and marks date window at the 3 o'clock position. It has a sapphire crystal glass. The case metal is 316L stainless steel. The diameter of the watch is 43mm. The thickness is 13mm. It has a beautiful black ceramic turning clicking bezel. The strap, or rather bracelet, is a 23mm stainless steel one, as I've already mentioned, and it has it did have a deployment buckle and a water resistancy of 200 meters. Well, all very, very impressive. And I have to say, fair enough, Parnis, you know, that's all true. And it is a very, very good diver's watch, and an awful lot of watch for my £89. Easily as good as the Seiko Monster. Easily. However, I have had a couple of quality issues with it. As you can see, I no longer have the solid links because unfortunately I managed to break my solid stainless steel bracelet that it came with, and now I have this kind of a different kind of deployment clasp, which is invisible. As I say, it is by Parnis. It is a good quality one, but it's an after sales one, unfortunately. Bear with me, just let me put the camera down. While I just refasten that up. I should really put you on hold to do these fiddly bits where I need two hands, but I'm sure you'll forgive me. Yeah, it's a very nice watch. I did have problems though, and I will explain them to you now. The problems came about with the bracelets, and as we can see, they have the links, which are removable, allegedly, have these tiny little screws. Now, you could take it to a jeweler and have them take a link out for you. I only needed one link removing from my original bracelet. However, I came across this problem, and this is a problem which isn't isolated to Parnis alone. This is a problem I've had with other watches made in China in the past, especially the solid ones like this. I don't have the problem with the cheaper kind, funnily enough, but with these solid bracelets, I've had this problem before and I've ended up breaking them. Basically, these are little removable screws. You can remove them and allegedly remove the link and then fasten the bracelet back together, minus the link you don't need. That's how it should be anyway. Now, although I have the right tools and the right size screwdriver for these microscopic screws, it's not actually possible to remove them. And as I say, this isn't a problem isolated only to Parnis. It's a problem that I've experienced right across the board with watches, or watch bracelets anyway, made in China. What they do is, I mean, this is a brushed steel bracelet. What they do is, they produce these bracelets, and then during the brushing procedure, these little microscopic screws here, let's see if I can get you in really close, these little microscopic screws here, they also get brushed. which means you can't get a grip on them with your micro screwdriver, and henceforth you cannot remove them. The only thing that you can actually attempt to do is to use a micro drill on them to drill them out and then totally replace them. Now, I tried to do that with my original Parnis bracelets, as pictured in the advertisements, and unfortunately, in my case, as has been the case before, I totally buggered it up and ended up having to go for a completely new strap, or bracelet should I say, at the cost of £22. And this is all because these Chinese watch producers, they don't put any protective cover over these little tiny screws when they're doing the brushing process. And as I say, that is a quality issue that is endemic right across the board with Chinese made watches, in my experience anyway. And to be blunt, it's a bloody nuisance, especially when you're paying £80 to £100 for one of these things. I mean, that is cheap for this quality of watch, believe you me, it is cheap, and I shouldn't really complain. However, it was not my only issue with this watch. As you can see, this watch boasts 200 meters water resistancy. Now, once I've finally got my watch bracelet sorted out and I had this watch on my wrist, I was wearing it, and naturally, as you can appreciate, I had it in water, and I took it in the bath with me, and all the things that, a watch of this sort of water resistancy rating you would expect would be able to cope with. And sure enough, on getting out the bath, getting out any water, the watch appeared to be fine. But then later that night, to my absolute horror, I realised that underneath the beautiful sapphire crystal, the watch was steaming up inside, which meant that the water resistancy had failed on this watch, which I was really... I mean, one problem with the watch is bad enough, but two, I was not impressed. Not impressed at all. And of course, this thing's come from China. You contact the seller on eBay and they're really not a lot of help, as you can imagine. And, well, that basically left me with an option. Either deal with the problem myself, or send it all the way back to China and wait possibly another month for a replacement to come. I didn't really fancy doing the latter, so I dealt with the problem myself. And I was lucky enough to do it successfully, and I'm going to explain to you how. Basically, as with all watches, diver watches, or any watches of any water resistancy rating whatsoever, there are two places where the water can get in. Through the crown, here, or through the back of the case, here. Oh, my little finger's touching now. And in this particular watch's case, that's exactly how the water was getting in. It was getting in through the back case, which again had not been properly screwed down in the manufacturing process. I unscrewed this, and I also discovered that the rubber gasket on the inside, the rubber ring, had become buckled and chewed up, and that is basically how the water got into this watch. Now, how I went about fixing it was I unscrewed the crown, I left the back off, and I left this watch exposed to the open air for 24 hours, which seemed to do the trick. All of the water, luckily for me, evaporated, and my watch mechanism, my lovely Miyota movement inside, was not damaged. On this occasion, that is. So what I did was I went and used some silicone grease sealant, and I applied it to the inside of my crown here, and then reinserted it. I replaced the gasket ring with one that I happen to have, and again I gave that a coating of silicone grease. Okay, I also give the screw threads a liberal coating of silicone grease, and then I very carefully screwed the back case back onto the watch, and luckily, you know, I mean, I've had this watch now for since late February, and luckily I've had no further issues with it. The Miyota movement has kept excellent time. It's a beautiful watch, and it's just a shame that I had issues with it, and sadly those issues weren't just the bracelets, it was the actual water resistancy, which is the main selling point of this watch, really. So there it is, that's my honest appraisal of the Parnis 200 meter diver watch. It's a lovely watch, it really is. It's beautiful quality, but from what I can tell, on this occasion anyway, this one was not checked before it was posted out to me, and as a result, the waterproofing actually failed. And now in my case it was okay. I have access to tools, watchmakers tools, and I was able to correct the problem. But you know, not everyone's going to do that. Not everyone's going to have access to watchmakers tools. Not everybody's going to have the patience to sit down and figure out what the problem is, and in their case they will have lost between 80 and 100 quid, because water really would destroy the movements, and you know, that would be a shame, because you know, Parnis have put such a lot of thought and detail into the design of this watch. They really have, but they really need to step up their quality checks, because if this can happen to me, this can happen to anybody else, and it's a shame. So there it is, guys, my honest appraisal. Let me know what you think of the watch, because it is a beautiful watch in spite of the issues I've had with it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, but for now, my name's Damien Jones. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.